Hi everyone. In certain countries there is a saying that goes, one man, one vote, one time. In other words, sure, they get one election, but what if the new president will just become the new dictator? In certain elections, the choice is very clear. They have two candidates, and both of them are quite certain to become a dictator, someone who will crush the rights of the people, who will bring everybody down. And that's what we had in Egypt a while ago. The population got to choose between the old regime and the Islamists. Both options sucked. And now, as I speak, we just had a new revolution with the people revolting against the new dictator and the army joining in. There's a lots of different opinions about this right now, but in my opinion, those who are cautious about the whole thing are doing the right thing. There is no right choice here. Morsi was a dictator. He really had to go. Sure, he was democratically elected, but what did he do once elected? He concentrated the power to the Muslim Brotherhood. He tried his best to crush the civil society. Did you notice those civil society trials that were going on right before the new revolution? It was very obvious that if Morsi stays, sure, technically there will be new elections, but there will be no fair chance to have an actual opposition. The Brotherhood will rule the country with their bogus elections, just like in Iran. Not saying that it's the same organizations, they probably hate each other, but the same basic kind of government, this pseudo democracy. Democracy is so much more than elections. There's a matter of checks and balances, and strong civil society, and free press, and protection for minorities. The core of democracy is not to justify some autocratic ruler through elections. The core is to have compromises and checks and balances, a society for everyone, not a system where two wolves and one sheep take a vote on what to have for lunch, or where 51% of the population can oppress the rest, or better yet, some group of assholes can oppress all of the population, including their own members, and people vote for them anyway because they don't have any other option or because they don't have relevant information and so on. So this thing about taking it easy right now as I speak and not pick sides. I mean, Western media and leaders have been accused lately a lot of not picking sides, but I think it's the right thing to do. Because, like I said, Morsi really had to go, but there's another side of that coin too. We don't want a new military dictatorship. The message to Egypt elites have to be clear that okay, this is not legitimate. You need a legitimate government. You need to have real elections, and soon. We're not going to accept some kind of unelected interim government settling down and becoming the new norm. This has to be temporary, and time will tell. In my opinion, for the first time since the old elections, and I mean the first round of elections. I mean, it wasn't game over when they elected Morsi. It was game over when it turned out that the options were the old regime and the Brotherhood. There wasn't anything to vote for. It was game over already back then. So this new revolution, it's the first time since the first rounds of elections that Egypt have a chance. And this can go way out of hand. This can become much worse than the Morsi regime. We might have this civil war and genocide and all that kind of stuff, instead of merely having a repressive regime crushing the rights of the people. But we also have a chance for actual democracy. As I speak, the last thing I read was this Nobel Prize winner, opposition leader, might become the prime minister. And I hope they will have two prime ministers. Invite the Muslim Brotherhood as well. See if you can include them in the process. I mean, the basic problem with Egypt so far has been who is going to rule over the others, what side is going to call the shots and oppress all the others. You can't do that. The Muslim Brotherhood did get a lot of votes, fair and square. The problem in the last round of elections wasn't cheating, it was lack of options, and it was failure to handle those options. I mean, if Morsi and the Brotherhood had invited opposition and had an actual dialogue and compromise, then there wouldn't have been a need for this new revolution. We would have had a pathway towards democracy already. But it's not too late yet. Maybe the different factions can compromise, and the Egyptians can have an Egypt for all Egyptians. I really hope for that. But the worst options right now are military dictatorship or an Islamist dictatorship. And I really wish the people of Egypt all the best. Good luck, people. That's all I have to say for now. Live long and prosper.